Hola everybody, welcome back to Good Chats. I'm Mike and we're here every Wednesday night at 8:15pm and we're doing it again this Wednesday night where we just have a bit of a chat about old railway history, camping, outdoors, any general history. We've got some more information about elephants around Adelaide for some reason for tonight. And yeah, I've just come in completely not set up at all tonight. I've still got that pinkish light thing going on, which I haven't worked out yet, I know, but we're still working it out. Thanks for bearing with me, everybody. At least I got the audio within the first 15 minutes this time. And I haven't had any time to do any of my usual setup, so I'm coming in hot. G'day, History Hunter Dan Under. You've been around for a while. You come in early, mate. Thank you. Good to see you again. Steve Klink, welcome aboard, mate. Saw you on the live stream, I think, the other day, live out there in the field. O'Malley, welcome aboard. You've been doing some more exploring, I see. Let us know what's been happening. I saw you feed on Patchewallach. Not sure whether you made that from a previous visit. I've seen you've been out and about. So what's been happening? Kaznick1, welcome aboard too. Welcome aboard, bro. Grow it, make it, or break it. DIY and ADHD, welcome aboard again. Thank you for coming. Well, 30 kilos down. That's not a bad thing. Yeah. Oh, shit. What have I done? I've done something to my torch here. Right. I'm not supposed to have a torch in my pocket. I don't know why that's there. Good morning, good evening, Andy. See, I just don't even know what day it is sometimes. Lucky I remember to schedule my own stream sometimes. G'day, Andy. I am interested in heading to Patchewallach. It's on my list. It's on my big list, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about. So welcome, everybody. Let us know what you have been up to. Once again, my week's been flat out, and I'm sure that's going to be the case for some time to come, and maybe I'll end up 30 kilos down. That would be nice. Yeah, let us know what you've been up to in the chat, hey? No, I've got the list. I'm planning to make the list more official as well, but I've got a very handwritten list here. And we'll talk about that. Now, those of you who are around on Monday and not out doing something far more interesting, I did a live stream, live from location at the entrance to tunnel number 2 at Sleeps Hill, which actually went pretty well. I've been looking forward to winter. The phone is less likely to overheat. Yes, urban camping. The big list, Sleeps Hill images. I've got some images from the National Railway Museum, which I'm going to share. I'm testing having my light up there this week, so it's a little bit further away from my face, and it's all looking a bit weird. I haven't really had time to play with it this week. And book of the week, well, we'll choose a random book. Who knows? It could be a book about history. It could be a book about trains. It could be a recipe book, or possibly even the instruction book for a microwave. You just never know. And then I've also got, I'm going to use you guys as guinea pigs. I'm going to play the draft of my Sleeps Hill video, get some feedback on it. I haven't added the final bit, the music. I'm this close to finishing it. So yeah, it'd be good to get some feedback as well. I don't know how why my phone catches fire, Andy. It's a 3-year-old phone. I think it might even be 4 years old, so it's doing pretty well. It's a Google Pixel 4a 5G, one of the first 5G phones to come out. So she's getting on a bit. You know, when you're breaking firewood, yeah, you do find bones that you never had. Grow it, make it. Plane Train Guy, welcome aboard. Thank you for coming. You've been doing some good work lately too. So everyone go check out Plane Train Guy on Facebook and on the Tube. Andy, I've seen your videos too, where you're doing more of a biographical style video, and I must admit it was really cool to see you in action, playing the footy, I guess. On that note too, I just haven't had a chance to get to those footy digests. I will. I usually say this every week. I'll take a break this weekend and just not go out and do something out there around railways or history, but I really would like to get right into these books. That's really cool, History Hunter Down Under, the old coal wharves and stuff. I'm really interested to see these smaller lines and these, I don't know, some people would call them less interesting lines, less interesting places, but I think that's exactly where the value of our YouTube channels lies, is by finding these niches and just going down that rabbit hole and just keep on following it and just keep on working away to bring these things to life. And that's what I always wanted to do with my channel, is bring these things to life. And one of the things I wanted to do with this live chat was just understand how streaming works, and I think we're starting to get it now. because we've got some great people out there in the audience. We're hitting more concurrent viewers each week, and more watch hours, more engagement, and as always, I learn heaps from everybody out there in the audience, right? I wouldn't have these Football Digest books if it wasn't for Andy Munro and O'Malley Tours. Just keep going for it, History Hunter. You go ahead and do that. Grow it, make it. Somebody's got to. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot barge pole. I'm just going to stick to history. The good thing about history is that it's not going anywhere, so you don't have to be in a rush to capture it, hey, Dan? The vid coming up is the Sleeps Hill Viaduct and Tunnel. So I'm just going to cue that up and give myself a break for a sec. And then we'll go from there. Now, I seem to have things working a bit better now. Hopefully, the audio will work on this one. Well, fingers crossed, we'll transition over. Welcome back to Outdoors Type. Sleeps Hill Reserve is an ideal place to go walking near Adelaide. It's basically situated between Linton and Belair. It's where the old Mitcham and Sleeps Hill quarries were located. These were once busy places, integral to the development of South Australian railways and industry.
I recorded the video.
It's also nearby to the site where 2 tunnels and 2 viaducts once stood as part of the original and much more tortuous route up through the Adelaide Hills to Nairn.
Oh yeah, no, the
Stick
monitor
around.
says it's working.
We'll go exploring and see what we can uncover of the old Sleeps Hill tunnels and viaducts.
Sleeps Hill was named after a man called Samuel Sleep. He arrived in South Australia in the late 1830s and worked as a shepherd for the South Australia Company. Sleeps Hill also refers to the group of quarries that were in use in the 19th and 20th centuries. The railway was a valuable means of transport for the quarry industry in Mitcham. From 1909, a branch line ran parallel to the main line and the Clapham branch to serve the Sleeps Hill quarries. For a short time, Sleeps Hill was the southern extent of SAR suburban train workings.
I'll answer that question in a sec, Andy. It's a bit of both.
Hills in 1916.
We're down here first at the site of the old Sleeps Hill station. The Sleeps Hill station was originally built for the quarries and was basically the southernmost location of the suburban South Australian railways at the time, until the new double track and tunnels were built through to Eden Hills. The platforms here lasted until the mid-50s, when the line was closed down and the tunnels were converted to storage. For a time they stored ammunition, they stored valuable art, they became mushroom farms, and nowadays even host fringe shows and are used for wine storage. It's a very private location to get to these tunnels now, so I can't show you anything of Tunnel 1. I can show you perhaps a little bit of the entrance, but you can't see anything. It's all behind barbed wire and still highly secure. Tunnel 2, I'll show you a little bit of what we found as we explored during the recent fringe event, and we'll see if we can get to the tunnel opening, the end tunnel opening of Tunnel 2, and I'll show you the remains of the viaduct supports. Stick around, let's go exploring.
In 1995, the western track of the double broad gauge track was converted to standard gauge.
I need to finish off this video with the music soundtrack.
To provide one of the 4 crossing points on the current Adelaide to Belair suburban passenger line.
And that's really the last thing. I've pretty much done everything I can on this video now, put everything together. And so the next thing is just to get the background music in and get it all working. I think if I had any more education, I'd go mad.
In the 1940s, the Sleeps Hill tunnels were guarded. One contained reserves of ammunition, as well as valuable artefacts and paintings that were display items on tour from London. Since then, the tunnels have been used as mushroom farms and wine storage. Tunnel number 2 recently hosted a fringe show.
Nice and cool down this end. That's an interesting point, plane train guy. Where did I get it? I got the information for the 4 crossing loops from the Mitcham local history document. So you're probably right. They may have added another one.
Hopefully I've found the right track and the right entrance. Let's keep rolling.
Sleeps Hill, Edenhill section of the line
Mitcham
had 2
local
tunnels
history
and
document
2
was written.
massive viaducts. One was 110 feet high, while the other was 75 feet high.
Cross my fingers and hope for
The
the
third
best.
tunnel, with a double track completed in 1916, bypassed the original route.
Oh, and so
here
with
we
this
go. We
video
found
too,
the small
folks.
spur trail,
wait
which
for myself
heads
to stop
further
talking.
downhill. Gets a little bit thinner now. You know what the fun part of all this downhill walking is you know you got to get back up again, and I'm not looking forward to that.
Oh, don't make me re-record the audio. Ugh. I guess I'll have to re-record that audio then. That's cool. Thank you for the tip. That's probably why it was good that I showed this video to you. And so later on tonight, after I re-record that bit of audio,
tunnel number 2.
And
This is quite a mythical
music
graffiti spot as well.
you'll be able to see just what
if
the
you can
difference
spot any
music
tags,
makes
you know.
to a video.
It does look like there's a door there, but that's all been concrete blocked up.
You keep going there, grow it.
I wonder if this is far from the end of the fringe show that we entered the tunnel from the other end and walked quite some distance in. I wonder how far we are from that last room that was on display there in that fringe show. We've come quite a way down the hill. You can see how steep the terrain is here.
Yeah, I get it, O'Malley. Yeah, the talking clashes
still
with the other
see
talking.
The shape of the old tunnel entrance.
I still haven't. There's really no way
At one
around
point in
that.
time, steam trains used to come smashing out of this tunnel and head across 2 steel viaducts, which you'll see in the historical images that I'm peppering throughout the video here. You see across the valley there, you'll see a support for the viaducts. There's 2 viaducts. There was one that went from here across to that small spur there and then headed off to the right. Not sure if you can see it there, but there's a small cutting just in front of the main cutting where the railway now is. The line headed through that cutting and joined up with the main line a little further over to the right there. It's a very steep country, so I'll be very careful, but if you look down here, you can see the first 2 pylons of the viaducts. Evidence still remains that these impressive structures were here once. You can see down below there, that is the viaduct track. So if you want to get a bit closer to some of the supports, you can. That viaduct track is accessible from Shepherd's Hill Recreation Park. But that's a long walk up from South Road there, from a completely different direction to the one I've come from, coming down from Belair. Well, that's it, folks. And thanks for joining me on this short explore of the Sleeps Hill quarries, the old tunnels and the viaducts up here in the Adelaide Hills. There's not a lot more to say. But if you did enjoy the video, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Right, stop that. Thanks for the feedback, everybody. Yes, you can ride a bike there. Not that I would ride a bike down that particular hill. And so I've basically shown you the route that you would take if you wanted to walk down there as well. And that goes back to the question that Andy asked, whether or not I researched this or just go with the flow. And I spent hours and hours researching things. So, I ended up finding this PDF of the Mitcham Local History Group, and then finding their photography collection, and generally just starts with a Google search and then goes deep down a rabbit hole from there. I also got these images from the National Railway Museum because I wanted different images to what was already available online. So it takes me a bit of time to sort of get my historical ducks in a row, so to speak. And I spend ages poring over Google Earth maps and Google Maps, particularly when I'm doing longer trips. I'm doing calculations to see how far I can go, how many days I need, that sort of thing. And then just stuff. Shit generally goes pear-shaped when I get out in the field. The Pitchy Ritchie, for instance, and the Flinders Ranges, I had this idea that I could go out a couple of times and just start shooting and start doing narratives. And it's like, once I'm out there, I kind of realize that I don't actually know much about the area. I need to actually spend some time in the area. I was saying this to another videographer, who it's got some of my footage for the Palmer drone shots that I did. So I was privileged to provide them with some more of my drone footage. But I do my research, and then I find out that I'm missing stuff. So sometimes with big videos, I'll go back over and over again. I knew exactly where I needed to go and where I needed to park, and where I needed to head for all the shots in this Sleeps Hill video, for example. So I kind of worked out what address I'd need to punch into the Jeep. I don't really need GPS, but I used it anyway just to make sure I was getting to the right spot. And particularly when you're out there on the tracks as well, just making sure I'm staying on the right track by using good old Google Earth, which is easy to do out there when you've got good mobile coverage. So it's a bit of a circular process. It starts with research and planning. Then, like I said, things work out differently when you're out in the field, so you come back and do some more research and some more planning, and then go out and do it again until you get it right, basically. Hello, James Lavanda. You can. You can ride up from Ailifts Road through Shepherd's Hill Park, and you can go up that viaduct track, which looks like a pretty easy track. Well, I don't know what's easy, it's relative, but you would be able to go up from the Shepherd's Hill Recreation Park car park and take that viaduct track all the way up to there, and then maybe walk the rest of the way. I did actually see, from what I could tell, there is a bit of a link between that unnamed track coming down from Belair and the viaduct track going up from Shepherd's Hill. And viaducts, right, can be a name for any long bridge. I've known, like, if you go to Europe, they've got river viaducts, for example, where they've diverted rivers and canals and brought them across valleys using viaducts. There are roads that use viaducts. I'm not sure what the full term is for it, but I think anything that's just a really long bridge, really long, tall bridge over land as opposed to over water might be called a viaduct. I did see a bloke out on an electric bike, O'Malley, and I didn't hear him coming either. So that was something I've never seen in anything like that before, an electric dirt bike. That looked pretty cool. Ah, there you go. Thank you, Kane. I was close. Yeah, I love nerding out on that stuff. Kane, can you please do me an intro tune? I do not want to keep using these stock tunes, so can you please get your guitar out and record me a tune? I would love that. I would love to use that. That would be so original and authentic. Absolutely love that idea. Camp Self, there is bugger all Crown land anywhere near Adelaide. And I've been involved in the industry and in the game for a really long time. And it was only just a couple of years ago that I was having a conversation with a mate. and really the only camping places in the Adelaide Hills would be the National Parks and Forestry Reserve, so you pay like $20 a night, or there would be the caravan parks, but effectively there's nothing else that's not a road reserve or a conservation park or a forestry reserve or private property. How do I tell if the land's public or private? Pretty much if it's got a fence, then I generally stay out. This is why I kind of like doing the drone thing. I'm very, very aware of, I have to be very, very aware of the law when it comes to these things, because I want my videos to stay evergreen and have that really long tail, and I just don't want somebody banging in 2-3 years later down the track and go, dude, that was like, so illegal, you were trespassing there. And I just do not want to engage with or promote that kind of thing. And I don't want sort of any of my videos jeopardized by any of that sort of bad stuff down the track. That sounds damn good. 365 kilometers carrying 500 Ks without charging. I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah, but the news is all bad for Crown Land Camping. Probably the only place I can think of for that would be the ferries around the river. They all have campsites, but I'm pretty sure the councils have bylaws in terms of timeframes camping there, for example. The only other one that I know of would be a couple of beaches still up in the Yorke Peninsula, but I think that's still a bit the same. And then you got to go way up to like Parachilna Gorge and stuff like that. That's the last time I saw anything resembling just general land camping. It's an interesting one, Andy, because, I saw someone come out with a video of the Glenray to Dorrigo railway tunnels after I'd done my video. And I'd actually been in touch with the Glenray Mountain Railway, who knew the landowner, and we weren't able to get access to it, not even that guy. And then a couple of months later, this video comes out with somebody creeping around those tunnels, and I'm like, hey, hang on. And pretty much what they said to me, I did ask and genuinely wanted to know. Thanks, Kane. Love to have you on board. Always a real pleasure. Go check out Kane's Trains. He does some awesome stuff. So anyway, pretty much the response was it's not illegal unless you get caught, really, or we knew what the consequences were if we get caught, which is pretty much you're just posting videos of yourself trespassing on the internet. Okay, you do that. Yeah, right, okay. Well, if you've gotten that far, grow it and make it, plans and blueprints, and handling all that stuff, you're a few steps further than I am. So I'd be very keen to hear what your research and what you're finding out more stuff about that turns up. Did I miss anyone or anything? Just a quick check in here on the chat. Kane mentioned the Port River Bridge as well. I'm going to go check that out at some stage when I'm down there. Yeah, I know there's heaps of Urbex videos. I studied a lot of them. Hey, whatever floats people's boat. I'm not here to judge it, but I'm just saying that I'm a bit more careful about that. I've studied media law way too much, and it probably does make me a bit boring. Because I'm not doing edgy stuff like that, but hey, we'll keep it clean. We'll go through the Sleeps Hill images. Then I'm going to do the big list. So some of these images we have not seen yet. Let's see if my slideshow buttons still work. Gee, that'd be nice if something worked the same as last week. So here's a few more images of the Sleeps Hill Tunnel. Some of them I used in the video, some of them I didn't, courtesy of the National Railway Museum. How's that working? That's not working. Of course it's not. Just have to use the mouse instead. That's an interesting shot of kind of nothing. No surprise I didn't use that in the video. Yeah, look, camping is easy if you're committed. You have to be committed, though. Gee, look at this. They even had drones back then in the late 1800s. No, they didn't really. They just stood on hills back then and made it look like they were using drones. That would have been pretty cool to be riding that train. Or alternatively, the someone was, standing on the bridge and fell off. That's cool. The old inner tent within the 3x6 gazebo. Yeah, cool setup. I get it. Yep. This was back when they were building it. Now check that out for an old school crane. How crazy would that have been? Not a bit of high vis in sight. And so there is a few more views there. This was the single line that wound its way up. And when we say wound its way up, we really mean wound its way up. I didn't know, for instance, that there was actually, I don't remember how many, there was like 2 or 3 more tunnels along this line, and the tunnels were actually cut out. They actually just dug them and made them really deep cuttings. And I think that's, again, around the Blackwood area. What's the most dangerous train line in South Australian history? That's a good question. I've been reading about deaths and stuff in the quarries, but I haven't read anything in particular about any mad, dangerous railway lines around South Australia. There's been obviously railway crashes and stuff like that, but South Australia's pretty boring when it comes to railways. We don't have any of those cool, precarious things with really heavy earthworks like on the eastern states. Yeah, you're going to need more than 200 amp hours to run what effectively is a household. Hopefully you can get one soon. And so we're moving through there, and that is the last one taken from a drone. Not really. And that is the tunnel entrance that we were looking at before in the video. Well, I'm going to go back and have to change the loops, number of loops narration anyway to 5, so I may change up some of the images. So that is that one done. Whoops. Oops. So the Eden Hills turntables in the 30s to early 50s. Yes, the family of 6 was always that the main North Road crossing, the Paraka line. I do remember one where a family died at the Paraka crossing. So if there were to be any dangerous railway lines in South Australia, that'd be pretty much every railway crossing, because South Australians seem to have no freaking idea when it comes to railway crossings. It's a surprise more people don't die at railway crossings. Now, let me find... I've got to find the big list. It's somewhere back in here. In my notebook. So bear with me. I'll try and find it. Hang on. Oh, now I've even lost my place in this book. Excuse me for a sec, just everybody talk amongst yourselves. At a railway crossing in the Mallee in the 70s. I haven't heard about that one yet. And I should look it up. I've heard of others, like way out at not Galga, out on the Yincanny line. Heard about some workmen dying there. There was a video that I did a couple of years back about the steam engine driver that died when his train was flooded off the railway tracks near Kapunda, of all places. Where's it gone? Where's today's page? There's today's page. So it's going to be somewhere back here. Oh, there we go. I've got a little bit to say about the elephants. Somebody sent me some stuff about the elephants, Playford's Past, and you should look it up and read it. I won't read it myself to you, but Wasley's Crossing in Gawler. Thanks, Dan. When a double-decker bus was hit, 17 people died. Wow, that reminds me. There was a whole bunch of deaths when a school bus was hit by the gun here in Elizabeth at the Salisbury at the Park Terrace Railway crossing. I'm unsure how many people died in that terrible accident, but that was a school bus. And so I think you'd all agree, it just seems crazy that there's just so many people dying at railway crossings. I don't know what to really say about that. Yeah, you've got all the stuff there. You must have been shopping at Snowy's. So here's the big list. Told you it was a bit rough. I don't know why it's so bright. But I don't know if you can read that. But you can see I can nearly cross off Sleeps Hill. See, I've done some bridges videos. I did the Dry Creek video. In terms of Metro, I'm still thinking of just doing something on the old main South line going from Adelaide Station out to Tailem Bend, because I haven't done that yet. There's the Flinders. I've got to make my way up to Marie and Alice. Pitchy Ritchie is one of the videos that's coming up soon. There's Aruna Dam out at Leak Creek and the old coalfields there. That would make an interesting video. Then there's York Peninsula. I've still got Stenhouse Bay Tramway to do. Then Victoria, yeah. Moringa to Redcliffe, Patchywallocks on the list, Pinaroo over to Oyen. Then I've still got to get down to Kalangadoo and Haywood in the southeast. Getting back to there. Then out in the Maorilands, I've done the Palmer Sculpture Fest. I think I want to do Appamurra and the silos out there. They're very striking. Still got a few bits and pieces to do around the Riverland. I haven't done anything on the Cobdogla Tramway or the Loxton Village in particular. I have sort of, been to both these places and covered a little bit of them, but haven't done them specifically. And there's a few of the Mallee stations out there that I want to get back to, and maybe this S-Bend, and do a bit more investigation on some of the accidents that happened out there. Excuse me. Oh God, what else is there? Does that say Broken Hill? Yeah, Broken Hill. A few chats ago we talked about Radium Hill and the fact that I didn't get out there because it's all on private property now, and there is a museum for that Radium Hill railway line where they mined uranium at Steamtown. Then some sort of general videos there. What did I put down there? Mid-North, I might... That's too bright, sorry. Mid-North, I might do the Roseworthy to Peterborough video again, one of my most successful videos. It was a 3.5 minute video, probably should have been more like 35 minutes if I was doing it to today's standards. And then I added these the other week. I want to do something about the elephants, and then we've talked about this a lot, the footy trains and the culture around them. And then in September, we're going back to Coffs Harbour. And I'm going to make my way from Sawtell up through Red Hill to Glenray and cover that bit of the coastal main north line in northern New South Wales. So I'm looking forward to that. So at some stage or another in the last 15 years, I've worked for all of those guys. Grow it, make it, break it. And I'm still in the outdoors, just these days with caravans and motorhomes and that kind of thing. So I'm thinking of making that list a bigger, more official, computery kind of list so that I can play it here and we can talk about it, and I can ceremoniously tick things off the list or something, or make that just another cool thing that we do here on the stream. I shouldn't laugh at that, O'Malley. That's terrible. It You're terrible, Muriel. Yeah, thanks for all those reminders of really horrible stuff. Now, I'm not going to bring it up on screen because I'm not the kind of guy to just read to everybody what's on the screen, that they can have a look at themselves. But if you Google Tommy the Elephant and Playford's Past, you'll come up with the Playford Library Service Heritage Collections, and there's an entry there on Tommy the Elephant. And I do recommend reading it, actually. Elephants have a lot of character. And this elephant was no different. It had a lot of character, and he had a really hard life, and died a really sad death. So it is actually a story worth talking about and worth telling, I think. And perhaps in future, this article would form the basis of a video that I would do. But put it this way, it starts with the first elephants in Australia appear to be a male and female elephant from Dhaka, India, which was shipped from Calcutta on board the Royal Saxon. Captained by William Charlesworth, it appears the bark made several journeys between India and the new colony. Can we just get to the date? Oh, here we go, 1st of June, and arrived in Hobart in 1851. And that elephant somehow made his way here. And it ends with the local legend in which an elephant was used to divert the course of Smith Creek through Smithfield probably originated at this time. However, throughout the court case, there is no mention of the use of an elephant in the diversion. Through the screen. Oh, Spinifex tents. Yep. I can't really say much about Spinifex tents. I won't say much about Spinifex tents. I have been recognised out there amongst the railway circles. I'm famous in Port Augusta Station, at least, when I was out there. I'm not sure whether I mentioned that yet, but a nice bloke called Ray, who works down at the National Railway Museum, walked past, and he must have seen the hat, and that is kind of the reason why I chose the hat, right? He said to me, yeah, I really like your channel. And I'm like, oh, wow, cool, thanks. And I kind of had to check I wasn't wearing an outdoors type name badge or anything, but yeah, he said he recognised the hat. I'm kind of think there has been a couple of other places that I've been recognised, so that's really interesting, and a really weird feeling as well. Hey, Andy, do you get the same as well when you're out and about? Do you get recognised amongst the country footy crew now that you're appearing on screen more often? And that is one of the reasons why I appear on screen more often, is because I have found that when you do, you get far more engagement. People want to see videos with other people in them, and it just works so much more. It's the reason why I do these on location live streams, is because studies show that live mobile content, for want of a better word, with people in it, is just like runaway number one most engaging. It will get you shown more places. It's deemed to be more relevant than any other kind of content. I haven't asked for anybody, haven't had anybody ask for a photo yet, but if you've been recognized before, people ask for photos, that is damn cool. And your Facebook channel has been really, really successful. I think mine's a fair bit more low key than yours, Andy. And you have been more, let's face it, more successful. Footy, I think, is a far wider genre, and I really love how people are sending you jumpers now as well, which means you've built up a level of trust and credibility that in the longer term I hope to be able to do with this channel as well. And I love having a chat when I'm out there about these things. I love meeting landowners in particular. So if I'm out at one of these places and a landowner comes by, or a curator or a caretaker or whatever, people love to chat about the things that they're passionate about, and I love to chat to them as well. you get lost all day chatting to the guys down at the National Railway Museum. Such the depth of their knowledge and their enthusiasm for it. That's for sure. We've been going for 45 minutes. So we're getting to the point where I'm going to do a quick book of the week and we're going to wrap it up because I really want to get back and get this video out there onto the internets tonight with a bit of music on it. So, yeah, I get it. Grow it, make it. Yeah, I get it. But it's something that I think I've had a few hang-ups with that back in the day. Yeah, it just takes a little bit of getting used to. What will be book of the week? Right. Well, that's funny, Grot. Okay, now I've got to get this screen working out. I've had this book for about 10 years now. I picked this book up over at some castle. I don't remember the name of it right now. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I'm too tired and too busy to remember. But it was basically the home of Winston Churchill. And so tonight I've picked a random book off here, and it's called Wit and Wisdom by Winston Churchill. So it's a little book of Winston Churchill's writing. If you don't know who Winston Churchill was, he was the wartime Prime Minister of the UK, and then for a while after the war too, until they got sick of him again. So it's just got lots of Winston Churchill sayings, I guess. It's a little pocket book. Kind of looks a bit like a Bible. Okay, here you go. Here's something from Winston Churchill. It's a little, what's the word for it? A vignette, I guess, from My African Journey by Winston Churchill. And it's called Killing a Rhinoceros. The manner of killing a rhinoceros in the open is crudely simple. It is thought well usually to select the neighbourhood of a good tree where one can be found as the centre of the encounter. If no tree is available, you walk up as near as possible to him from any side except the windward, and then shoot him in the head or heart. If you hit a vital spot, as sometimes happens, he falls. If you hit him anywhere else, he charges blindly and furiously in your direction, and you shoot him again, or not, as the case may be. Well, thanks, Winston Churchill. It could be handy, just in case I find myself hunting a rhinoceros at some stage soon. If anyone would like to know more about hunting rhinoceroses, or the Hindenburg, or the Shield of Honor, then just let me know, and we'll read it out of this little book of Winston Churchill, who was definitely one of my homeboys. Not that I would shoot a rhinoceros like that, but you have to admire the bloke for the time that he lived in. That's from the really super old section of my bookshelf where I have all kinds of crazy stuff. So maybe even some of those books that we all studied back in Year 12 English back in the 20th century. So I may, excuse me, they may wheel, oh, you know of some rhinoceroses? Well, I won't do a Winston Churchill on them. So I may bring out some of those old school books for Book of the Week as we go forward. My God, I've got so many books to read. So if I go back to this one and transition over. Oops. Oh, man. Right. We'll transition that over. Thanks for bearing with us, folks, through all of these little errors and stuff. But hey, that's what live streaming's all about. I believe by week 84 we are getting better all the time, and the you guys, the audience, and the level of information that we're sharing and what we're doing here is getting better all the time as well. Hey, look, me and O'Malley even made a real life friend out there on the water the other week. I'm really hoping this weekend, O'Malley, that I don't explore. I would like to spend more time exploring these books that are building up as well, these footy digests, and the Break of Gauge book by John Wilson, which is a heavy duty read. It really is. So I'm having a bit of trouble getting through that. Like I said, that's pretty hardcore when you meet somebody for the first time and you're on a kayak out on the water. I went to the Model Railway show a few years back, and it's there would have been heaps of people down there. All right. It's more about the pictures, is it, Andy? The rhino is your relative. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll have to go down there one of these years. But I did kind of also think, Kaznik, that, me being me, and there are already so many well-established model railway channels out there that's kind of not a niche I want to compete in. Not that I'm competing or anything in this competition here, but there's plenty of good people doing plenty of good stuff in there, and I just think my niche is out doing something different, like wandering down to some graffiti walled tunnel entrance. Hopefully there'll be 100th episode. Maybe we should do some kind of epic catch-up. So 100th episode, that's going to be in 15 weeks time, so 3 months. That's going to be in mid-September, eh? Hang on, how many fingers have I got here? July, August, September. You know what? The 100th episode of Good Chats may just turn out to be from the Big Banana in Coffs Harbour again. At the rate we're going, I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going to be for the 100th episode of Good Chats, so we can do it again from the Big Banana or something equally crazy like the top of Muttonbird Island or something like that around Coffs Harbour. I'm really looking forward to that trip. Go ahead and start building a model railway, grow it, make it, and you'll regret it very quickly. It takes a lot of commitment. It's like writing. It's like anything. Out of 100% of people who want to actually build a model railway, 92% of them will actually get there. That's my view anyway. Sorry, a bit of a pessimist sometimes. History Hunter Down Under, thanks for coming on board, man. We're just going to run through. Steve Klink, thank you for coming on board. O'Malley Tours 34 Around the Grounds. Go check him out on YouTube and Facebook. You will find them out there. Kaznik1, thank you again for your input. Great to hear that the Model Railway show was a real success. I bet that's why JK's not here tonight, because he's tired himself out. He would have been there every day this week, and I really admire the level of commitment that these guys put into that stuff. Thank you for coming on board. Grow it, make it, break it, or break it. DIY and ADHD, dangerous combo, thank you for coming on board. Kingsley Purvis, thanks for coming on board and representing WA again, sir. Andy Munro, always such a pleasure to have you on board. Great info. And looking forward to seeing more of you on video as well, man. Doing a great job. Who else have we had on board tonight? And apologies if I miss anyone. Plane Train Guy, PTG, gold star for you. Kane's Trains, he's off to bed now, off with the fairies, but it's always such a pleasure and a privilege to have someone as knowledgeable as Kane on board the chat as well. James Lavanda, thank you for coming on board. First time we've seen you here. Thanks for piping up. Hope you feel welcome and hope we see you again. Who else have we had tonight? Wow, there's so many chats tonight. That's awesome. Really getting into it. If you could recreate Run Railway. Yes, History Hunter. Maybe we could have a hook up in Coffs, man. Collaborations all around. I did see you did a short video on Muttonbird Island. Bit of Coffs is a spiritual home for me, so that's why I'm there most years. And if I could recreate one railway, Andy, and I'll keep that question for next week. Gotta find a pen. I'll keep that question for next week, and so should we all. So we can come back next week and have a chat about what kind of railway would we recreate. And for a change, actually one railway leaps to mind. I could usually find it hard to answer your questions. I have to think about it, but this time, I reckon I could I reckon I've already come up with one. So yeah, have a think about that too, folks. Let me know what kind of, if money was no object and passion was all you needed, what railway would you recreate? Would you bring back to life, make it yours, and open up to the people? Well, it could be a monorail, you know. Hooray for the monorail, right? So, apologies if I missed you tonight. Thank you for coming on board, everybody. For those of you who are doing the replays or missed it tonight, we missed you too. So we hope to see you again sometime in the future. But anyway, this has been Good Chats. As you can see, I'm Mike, and that's the logo of what I do. And we're here 8:15 p.m. every Wednesday night. So we'd love to see you again next week. Until then, peace out.